I'm always stepping in the ring to prove myself to a sense, just to myself, that like, the things people say or whatever are not true. Like whether they still believe it at the end of the day, that's on them. But for me, I'm going, no, I'm one of the best on the planet. Like there's not many people that can touch me and do what I do at my size, my athleticism. And how long I've been in the game, I can still go with anybody and everybody. I mean, you could put me in the ring with an Ospreay, with a Seth Rollins, with a Roman Reigns, with a Mystico, a Matt Riddle, a Kenta, a Paul London, like anybody. It doesn't matter who you put in front of me. I can go with that person.
What's going on, everybody? Zack Heydorn here with the Takedown on SI on YouTube. Very special guest today from MLW, Bishop Dyer, formerly known as Baron Corbin from WWE. Bishop, what's going on, man? You got a big couple weeks ahead of you. Great to talk.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be busy. Busy's good, though. Life is good. Life's treating me well. It's hot here in Florida, so it'll be nice to get a break and get to Dallas. And I'm going to be in Mexico on Sunday as well. Up in Toronto Friday. So, yeah, I'm all over.
It's awesome. So Fightland's coming up September 13th in Dallas. Big show for you and for MLW. Talk about that show, your place in MLW right now, and how has it been as like, a second or third chapter of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Like it's wild because this is a whole world that I never experienced prior to WWE. A lot of talent in the WWE, they went through the independents, worked for different companies, from Mexico to Japan to Europe to all over the U.S. I know several WWE superstars have gone through MLW. So I'm kind of doing it backwards, which I think makes it really fun. There's a lot of talent that I haven't worked with all over the world that I'm getting to work with now and step in the ring with, and talent I know as well, like my tag team partner for the Skyscrapers, Dijak. We were familiar from WWE and NXT, and so to get in the ring with him, we know each other very well. So I think that's one reason we capitalized on those tag titles so quickly, because we had a background together. We have the same kind of mind frame. We both have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. So I think that makes us, very dangerous in the ring, and allowed us to, in our first opportunity as a tag team, capture the tag team titles. So I think that's pretty awesome. And then, coming into Dallas on September 13th, which is my birthday, no big deal.
No big thing. Just drop that in there.
Right. So getting there, and then, there's so much opportunity right now. I'm in the Opera Cup tournament, which is one of the longest standing trophies in professional wrestling, period, let alone all sports. So that's pretty cool to be a part of. I just passed the first round with getting a nice victory. I think too, it's a proving ground for me. A lot of people know me just from being Baron Corbin in WWE, and they think they know what I can do or have a grasp on what I bring to the ring. And I think it's eye-opening for a lot of people that step into the ring with me and go, whoa, this is a different animal. This is not the same, Baron Corbin we watched for years, or whatever predisposed opinion of me they have. I'm bringing new stuff to the table. It's a new hunger, a new excitement, especially getting into companies like MLW. I was nervous at first coming out of WWE and going into, the independents a little, and going, all right, what do I expect? What kind of world is this going to be? Is it going to be like a circus, like some people explain it? Is it going to be poorly run or dangerous, or any of these things they talk about? A lot of talent were like, oh man, when I was coming up, the rings, they had holes in them and stuff. But I walk into MLW and I'm like, whoa, this is like pro level shit here. Like, this is pretty awesome. The owners really take an amazing pride in what they're putting out there with that company, and they put a lot of effort into putting together the matches, the tournaments, the rundown for the show. The TV crew that they put there is amazing. And then just the way he treats talent when you get in there, and there's just a level of professionalism I wasn't expecting, that it was like such a breath of fresh air, and like something you're like, man, I really want to be a part of this. I really want to be here. And I think that's why the product that MLW puts out is so amazing. From the shows, they have, every kind of style of superstar with different matches. You have talent from CMLL, from New Japan, homegrown MLW talent, ex-WWE talent. Like the array of superstars is amazing, and that makes it challenging for me too. I haven't had the chance to compete against New Japan superstars outside of like maybe Shinsuke or Finn Balor. So now I'm getting the opportunity to face several superstars from New Japan who are active New Japan superstars in MLW. Same with CMLL. Like it's a different style. I'm having to adjust to the luchador style and the faster pace. And even on this different level, it is a much faster pace. We understand WWE moves very slow. The matches are a little bit slower, a little more drawn out, I guess. And here, it's a faster paced thing. It's a different level of aggression. And I think that's one of the things that's really drawing me to it right now is like the difference and the level of competition and the amount of hunger that a lot of these superstars, when you look at their roster, a lot of guys, you have people like Mystico who obviously have this long, amazing history, and they're an icon in the industry on that roster. And then you have young and hungry guys. You got guys who haven't made it, guys who want to make an impact, make a name for themselves. So it's like a really cool mix of talent. And I think that's one of the things that I love about the shows is if you're coming as a viewer, you're going to get a little bit of everything. And that's a pretty neat thing to have.
Yeah, really cool. And that's so well said. You mentioned a chip on your shoulder. Where does that come from? Does that reside there just as motivation, or is there something like in your mind that you're like, no, this is here for a reason?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few different things, honestly. Like, for most of my career in WWE, I was a heel. People hated me. And then with that came like the doubt of the ability like to wrestle or, the knock like Cena gets, the 5 moves of doom. Like I was very simple. I was a heel. I wanted to be a heel, a pure heel. And people, I think they judge you based on that. If you're not like trying to be the cool heel, like an Austin heel, they're going, oh, he's boring. He doesn't wrestle. So, well, if I do everything cool and great, then you're going to cheer for me. And that's the opposite effect of what I'm trying to gather. I want people to hate me. And so then when I kind of went to that run in NXT where it was like, all right, I'm going to go. Like, and I think I showed a lot of people like, whoa, they're like, yo, Corbin can really go in the ring. And so, leaving that kind of left a little chip. So I'm always stepping in the ring to prove myself to a sense, just to myself that like, the things people say or whatever are not true. Like whether they still believe it at the end of the day, that's on them. But for me, I'm going, no, I'm one of the best on the planet. Like there's not many people that can touch me and do what I do at my size, my athleticism. And how long I've been in the game, I can still go with anybody and everybody. I mean, you could put me in the ring with an Ospreay, with a Seth Rollins, with a Roman Reigns, with a Mystico, a Matt Riddle, a Kenta, a Paul London, like anybody. It doesn't matter who you put in front of me. I can go with that person. And I think too, never winning the big title in WWE is a chip that sits on my shoulder. So now it's like I'm going to take the Mercedes money route and get as many titles as I can physically get. I want to have them all and say, look at this, look at me, look what I've done. And then I think everybody's career comes to an end before they want it to, unless you're like a John Cena where you plan the date and that's when you're out. I think for me, 13 years in WWE is an amazing career, and I have a lot of amazing accolades from that, but I wasn't done. I wasn't ready to be out of the ring. And so I think there's a little bit of a chip there of like still want to get in, still want to compete. And then I think just kind of having a chip on your shoulder for your own personal reasons motivates you daily. Sometimes like right now, I got 2 kids. They're in school. I got a coffee business. I've got other companies that I'm helping run. And it's like, I still got to have motivation to get in the ring. I still got to have motivation to get in the weight room, to not eat the last chicken nuggets from my kids' dinner they don't eat. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have that. So having that chip of just not feeling complete in my journey through the wrestling world drives me to always continue to be better and drives me to want to do this, because it's no longer about money. I did well and I was lucky and I'm, got cut from the NFL, and I saw how quick things can go away when you're at that level. When you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever it is, it can go away very quick in this industry, professional sports. So I did a very good job of like planning. So now to me, it's all like, it's a very lucky position to be in where I don't have to work. And so all of this is for me and my pride and what I want to accomplish. Like I'm taking shows and being a part of companies like MLW because I love it and because I want to be there and I want to compete and I want to be the best. And that's my driving factor.
How fantastic. How is like the grind of being on the WWE main roster and all that comes with that, whether it's the TV and the pay-per-views and media and just all that. How does that grind compare to the independent scene grind that you're working on right now? I mean, compare and contrast that a little bit for me.
I mean, it's different for everybody. When you talk about like Raw, SmackDown, live events, PLEs, like that's the fun part. Like when I was playing football, we always had a coach on Sunday. He would just say it's payday, like because you got the game. It had nothing to do with me. It's like it's payday. And so all of that to me were always payday. Like I'm out there with friends. I'm performing in front of people. I'm feeling the energy of a crowd. Like that is amazing. There's no grind to that. And it's the same as doing shows like I said with MLW or whoever I'm working with. Like that's payday for me. It has nothing to do with like we talked about the monetary value. Like it's getting in front of the crowd and performing. That is the love. The grind comes in when it's like, tomorrow I have a 6 a.m. flight to Toronto. So I'm getting up at 4 a.m. That's the grind. The grind is the tough part of kissing your kids and leaving for a few days. I leave tomorrow. I come back Monday.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm leaving my kids. Like, that's a hard grind for me. That's the hard part. They're going to miss me. My wife's got to manage the entire house. And, I'm coming home Monday. She's going to be smoked. She's going to be tired. Like, so yeah. I have to go. And this is another thing I learned in the NFL. Like, when you have a job like WWE or NFL or whatever it is where you're traveling, I'm sure you do a lot of traveling as well. When you get home, you're exhausted and you want to just kind of sit on the couch, eat some food and relax, have a drink, whatever it is, whatever your vices are that you enjoy. But when you have a family and kids, you can't do that because then that creates animosity, I think, in relationships when you come home and they're tired because they just had 3 days with the kids of doing everything, putting down, all of that. So when you got the part of the grind there too is like sucking it up and being dad and being a family man when you get home, when you're tired and you have to just put on a face and go, no, I got this, like no problem. You need me to help with this. I got this. And then you're allowing your wife, hey, take a break, kick back. You take the couch, relax. I'll take the kids to the park, like stuff like that, where you're kind of having to suck it up. That's a little bit of the grind that you face in WWE when you're gone for so long and so many days and every single week. Now, because I'm being more selective and I'm doing 2-3 shows a month, I'm not gone as much. But that's the grind that I think people don't see is like the toll it takes on family and relatives, the 6 a.m. airport runs, the drives after shows, staying in a different bed in hotels, like your body's sore after a match and then you're sleeping in a different bed every night. Like that beats you up. That's part of the grind. And then, finding your food, like how are you traveling with your food? Are you packing it?
And eating healthy, right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, that's tough. And like, I'm leaving for 4 days and I try to always travel without a check bag. So it's hard. So I try to pack as much food as I can. And then I'm on the search whenever town I'm in. Where can I find healthy food?
Yeah.
Things like that. It's like those are the little things that just make it a grind. But then you get to go out and perform and you forget all that. But I think too, we talk about it's that way for different people, different levels. You've got guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. So their grind is different. They're showing up to MLW. They're setting up the ring. They're helping prepare for the show. They're not even on the show, but they're grinding to get that opportunity for a match. And it's neat to see, and you got to pay your dues in that sense. And, some of these guys that are on these shows, they're in a position they don't want to be in, whether they're a guy who's getting 2 minutes and they're getting killed in 2 minutes. And that is, but nobody wants to be in that position. So the grind for them is different. How do I get out of this position? How do I get to a better role? How do I get paid more for a match? Like all of those things become factors. Because again, I'm very, very fortunate and lucky to have done what I've done, and it put me in a place. But some of these people, if they get $50 for a show, like that's their food for the week. because they're grinding and trying to make it. And I think too, with that, it makes you appreciate it so much more when you do get to that level, or you do get that opportunity. For a talent, if they go out and get beat in 2 minutes and they're like, all right, I got to get better. I got to get in better shape. I got to get in better ring shape. I got to create a better offense or a character. They're grinding to figure it out, but the stress is real for them because they're like in that live and die mode of like, I have to get to the next level or I can't keep doing this.
Do you find that, since you've been to WWE and you've, wrestled on the biggest stages possible, and as you said, you've made a good living, you've planned, you've saved money. Are you kind of like somebody that younger talent can go to for advice on like, hey, man, I'm grinding this thing out, and what, like, I need a sounding board to bounce some rants off of.
No, and I love that. Like, that's another thing. Like when I go and sit before the show at MLW and talk to some of the talent, they're going, hey, how do I do this? How do I convey this message that I want to get across? And like, Ariel Dominguez is an MLW talent. He always is spitballing ideas off me. Like, how do I, because he's a smaller guy, luchador style. He's like, how do I maximize my time in this match? And so I'll sit and talk to him. And I'm like, hey man, stop taking everybody's move and just getting murdered because you can take it. Like, protect yourself, protect what you do, make your offense make sense. And then also, like, he's talking about he drives the ring truck for the company sometimes to help get him booked. And I'm like, I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it. But now, how do you make yourself even more valuable? What can you offer the company to put you in a better position? Also helping guys with, the psychology of it. Does this make sense to you when you do this? Or talking to them after a match? Because I've done it a long time and I've had the lucky privilege of, doing the same thing and having the same conversations with John Cena. I have a match, I go back and I sit with John, and John will break down, hey, this really worked, this didn't work at all, this could be better. And so I learned from guys like him, Roman, Seth, Randy. And when you have that much knowledge, and not to mention guys like Triple H and Taker, Kane, guys that I worked with and who grabbed onto me through my career and really helped, Kevin Owens. I can take the knowledge that they've kind of bestowed on me and now help pass it to other people as well. And coming from, it's funny because my wife will always say shit like, she'll tell me something and I'm just like, no, that's not right. And then Cena will tell me, or someone, she'll just throw a name out there. She's like, but now you listen. Like, and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things. So
I've been there.
Right. So I think for talent, seeing a guy like me who's kind of done it and performed at WrestleMania several times and traveled the world and worked everybody there is. I mean, I was one of the guys in the ring with The Rock when he initially came back with Fox, like, and having those conversations with him on my character work and what I can do to elevate myself. I think them having the ability of seeing someone who's done it before, I think the message has a little bit more weight to it. Yeah. And so I love that I can help guys be successful because, I talk about how lucky I am. There's a shitload of hard work that goes into that, like so much hard work that's gone into getting me to where I got. But I think it motivates guys to get there like that. I'm saying, hey man, this wasn't easy. This is a hard road and it's hard to get yourself to that level, but it's all worth it when you do. So find your sacrifices, find what you want to do, and then figure out a way to make yourself stand out, be different.
Yeah. Speaking of being different, I think in WWE, but also in MLW, when you have been asked to be in a tag team or be kind of like a dark, brooding heel or be this happy, rich gambler in Las Vegas or this dejected gambler that hasn't worked out, man, I mean, you're so diverse in what you've done on television. Again, not just WWE, but in other companies as well. Where does that ability come from, and the willingness to get out of your comfort zone and try some different things? Like, where does that come from?
A few places. I think one of them is not having an ego. I think that's important in this world because we're all going to do things that, look, everybody wants to be a Roman Reigns who beats everybody up, looks awesome, it's got the coolest entrance music, coolest entrance, flying on his private jets home. Everybody wants that, but not everybody's going to get there. So he kind of sets the standard, and he's a guy who has no ego. And I've seen it firsthand, unfortunately, when we had to do dog food. Do you think Roman Reigns wants dog food poured all over him? I didn't want to pour it on him. It smelled so bad. But he has no ego, and he's like, yeah, if it's better for the show, let's do it. And so I think that having that humility and the ability to not worry about what people are thinking is super important in getting things successful. And then on the flip side of it, it's John Cena saying, look, you got to take whatever they give you and make it the best you can. Whether you like it or I hated my Happy Corbin music. That was the worst music I've ever experienced.
with the slot machine.
Oh my God. It was I didn't want to walk through the curtain to that music. I was embarrassed. And like it came down to like, well, if this is what they're giving me, I'm going to do the best I can with it, and I'm going to make it work, and it's going to help me create layers to who I am as a performer. And if I knock this out of the park, maybe they'll give me something even better. And so it's kind of that mindset of like, all right, you want to give me this? I'm going to make it so good. And that's what happened with Zack Corbin. Zack Corbin was only supposed to be like a 2-week thing. But I was like, this is what you want? I'm going full tilt.
Yep.
And doing that, it worked, and we elongated it. And it got all the way to SummerSlam with Big E, you know? It's like being able to do that and adapt to what they're asking. And like nobody wants to do that role. Again, everybody wants to be the big badass who can beat everybody up. But that just if there's 25 of those, nobody cares. There needs to be a diversity in the talent and the characters and what's presented on screen. And you kind of just sometimes have to suck it up and go, I'm going to make this awesome. And they're going to love it. And then it'll create opportunity. So it's just, I think it's those kind of things that allowed me to do that. Plus, I love this. And if that's what you want me to do, go perform, got it, done.
Yeah. All right, MLW Fightland Dallas, September 13th. It's a huge card. You can check it out on the MLW YouTube channel. As you said, MLW really is hot right now in a lot of ways. Give it a final plug and
no, I mean, I just think it's so special because it's so much hungry talent that wants to go out and perform for the crowd. You know, we keep selling out shows at MLW, which is like, that's proof right there. Like when we were in LA doing the show, we sold out 2 separate buildings and had to keep moving. When we were in New York, it's sold out. Now we're coming to Dallas. It's going to be amazing. You have a title match with Dijak and Riddle. I want to see my tag partner walk away with that world title. You have Opera Cup tournament matches. They're going to be amazing. You're getting to see your favorite superstars from all over the world in one place. I think that's the biggest thing to come and be a part of, because you're getting to see people from Japan to Mexico, all over the States, from Europe, all under one roof. And it's one of those things where every match is going to be different. There's going to be superstars that stand out to you that you'll get opportunities to meet through signings. All of that, the experience is coming and being part of the show. And I think that's what people need to understand with wrestling in general, whether it's WWE, AEW, MLW. Come and be a part of it and like let go and just have fun. And you'll walk away going, I have to come every single time they come to town.
There you go. Bishop Dyer, everybody. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck this weekend. Good luck at MLW Fightland. Appreciate you. And we'll hopefully we can do it again real soon.
I'm down. Whenever you want to chat, man, let's do it.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Later, brother.